Now let's look into internet and cyber attacks. We're going to start off with phishing. Hacker phishing around to obtain resources and information by disguising as a trustworthy entity is what we call phishing. And typically email is used, and the information types that are hunted around are for usernames, passwords, credit card information, and money. Now, phishing emails commonly contain attachment files and web links that are infected with malware, so you have to be very careful. Spear phishing is one type. Here, phishing to an individual or a company, and it uses personal information of the individual to increase the success probability. In other words, with personal information about you, it can fool you. In addition, most common and successful type of security attacks are phishing, where it accounts for over 90%. And I'm sure throughout the process, you may have experienced this, as I have several times. The second type is clone phishing. Here, legitimate previously delivered email is resent to the receiver containing an attachment file or a website link that is infected with malware. It fools the receiver as if it is an update or a replied email. Then there's whaling. Now, this is a phishing attack made on a high-ranked executive of the company to attack important business files using executive-level access. Now, because this is a big fish, this is why we call it whaling. Now, link manipulation. Here, phishing website link that is infected with malware or connects to a hacker website. It looks like a popular, legitimate website link. Now, the hacker's web address is disguised under text or a tab that is not shown. The next phishing type is filter evasion. And in here, phishing emails that use images instead of text to avoid anti-phishing filters used in security systems. Then the next type is website forgery. In here, phishing website replaces the user address bar or website with the hacker's address bar or website. The user is fooled into providing important login information, password information, and account information to the hacker. The next type is covert redirect. In this type, this corrupts a website to have a malicious login pop-up dialog box that covertly redirects a login to the hacker's website. So after login, you're giving up your important information. In addition, you're logging into a website that you're not supposed to. Next is social engineering. This provokes a user to click on a malicious link or a hacker's website. In other words, it uses fake news to provoke a user. And then once you are logged into a hacker website, then basically you are under the hacker's control. The next type is phone phishing. In here, a telephone call or an SMS text message to trick people into giving up personal information is the way that the phishing attack is made. Next, we're going to study about DoS and DDoS attacks. Here, DoS stands for denial of service, and this is a very popular type of an attack. This is a cyber attack that disables a device or a network by making operational resources unavailable through overloading or malfunctioning. The next one is a distributed DoS attack, which is called a DDoS attack. And in here, the DoS attack is made by using multiple distributed systems, which are botnets or zombie computers or other type of computers that are contaminated with malware. Now, these DoS and DDoS attacks are enabled by other type of technologies that are combined together. And I'll explain some of them in the following descriptions. This is overflow. And as you can see, buffer overflow, which is also known as buffer overrun, this is used in DoS and DDoS attacks. Anomaly program, which is a malware, this overruns the buffer boundary and overwrites into adjacent memory locations. Now, some of the possible defense schemes that you can have include randomizing the layout of your memory, deliberately leaving space between buffers, also monitor actions that write into adjacent memory spaces, and two representative types of buffer overflow are stack overflow and heap overflow. And let's look into these. Now, stack buffer overflow is created by a manipulation of a local variable related to the vulnerable buffer on the stack, manipulate the return address in a stack frame, manipulate the function pointer or exception handler to create operation malfunction, or to manipulate the stack frame's local pointer or local variable. Then there's heap overflow. This is used in dynamic memory allocation. And the heap is used for applications in runtime. The heap overflow is a buffer overflow that occurs in the heap data area. Now, protection methods to prevent heap overflow include to separate the code and data to prevent execution of the payload. In addition, randomize the heap location so it is not located at a fixed offset position. In addition, periodically check the condition of the heap. And all of these methods are commonly applied in operating systems and apps that you have been using. The next one is about man-in-the-middle attack. Now, a man-in-the-middle attack secretly relays and manipulates packets between communicating users and servers. This results in an active eavesdropping and manipulation of the information. Now, defense against man-in-the-middle attacks include enhanced authentication using a certificate authority based on verified certificates from a trusted third party. In addition, latency examination based on tamper examination. What this means is that if there's a man in the middle that's taking operation and relaying, then there should be some extra time delay processed due to the process of the man in the middle. And if you can detect that, then maybe you can detect the man in the middle. In addition, HTTP public key pinning, which is also known as certificate pinning, is another way to do it. Some extra details are the HTTP server first pins up a list of public key hashes that can be used for message and data encryption. Next is SQL injection. Now, SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it's pronounced as SQL. What is it? Well, this is used for RDBMS and RDSMS processing. Now, RDBMS is Relational Database Management System, and RDSMS stands for Relational Data Stream Management System. These are database technologies. Now, SQL injection is a code injection technique used to attack SQL databases and data-driven applications. Attacker finds security vulnerability in an application and inserts SQL statements to spoof identity, tamper with existing data, voiding or changing transactions, changing account balances, disclosure of data, destroy of data, ransom data and applications. In addition, hijack administrator role of the server or the application. And as you can see, each one of these are very serious. These are the references that I used, and I recommend them to you.